The last of the areas that we'll look at for reasonable adjustment relate to interpersonal communications, and they sort of derive from the old notion that the philosopher Wittgenstein used, which is the problem with communication is the illusion that it's actually taken place. And for some people, trying to second guess or to get an impression of what is in somebody else's mind may not be immediately apparent, and they may make assumptions and go ahead with actions on the instructions they've received which are just slightly off target and may be difficult to persuade to come back on target. So in situations like this, the adjustments that can be made are often ones that are basic sales techniques, because if you think about it, a salesman is a person whose job is to try to work out what is in somebody else's mind and then work out whether the products and services that are on offer will suit that person's need. So one of the first adjustments that can be made is to try to limit instructions, communications, basic interpersonal comms to no more than 3 points. No more than 3 key points. Do this, then this, then this. In the military, it would be do this and then wait for your next instruction. So don't complicate things. Keep instructions to no more than 3 things. ABC, 1, 2, 3, ready, steady, go, beginning, middle, end. The brain is kind of attuned to work in threes. The second is try to keep your instructions to 12 words or less. Anything that goes beyond that starts to get complicated. We want to keep it simple. And then the third is to summarize from both sides. So let me summarize what I've just told you. Go to the bank. Get £200. Bring it back. Just play back to me. Please tell me what your understanding is. Yeah, you want me to go to the bank, you want me to get £200, you want me to bring it back. Yes, we're all agreed. Okay, so that's summary, and then just to be sure, just to check that we've got that right. In this way, we can avoid simple misunderstanding. Another simple technique is to use more than one type of communication medium. So voice, go to the bank, get £200, come back. Or you could sketch out, write it out, put it in an email, put it in a text. Or you could agree a set of emojis, for example, a picture of a bank, a picture of some money, a picture of getting on a bus to come back. You'd agree these protocols within the context of your organisation to ensure that there has been a true meeting of minds when it comes to communication. One thing that professional salespeople will do is ask a lot of questions, and you can ask these questions on the scale of 1 to 10 rating. So based on what I've just said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you think I understand your needs? Based on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you think I am meeting your needs? And this can happen both ways. You know, the manager and the employee can be talking to each other about, has what has been said been understood on a scale of 1 to 10? And are we meeting the requirement of those instructions? If you think about it, to some extent, all communication is about understanding needs and ensuring that they're met, which is, again, based on this simple idea of let's understand where we are, let's understand where we need to be, and then let's understand how we're going to get there. A more advanced technique that some people use in the workplace where they're making these kind of adjustments is to introduce what I would call a feedback sandwich. And that's 2 soft bits on the outside but the hard bit in the middle. So let's say, for example, you are going to a meeting where you're always asked the same question and you're starting to get a little bit bored about always providing the same answer. You'd rather only give updates when changes occur. So you might decide to give feedback along the following lines. I like the meeting where we all get together because it's a great way of making sure we don't make mistakes, so that works for me. What doesn't work quite so well for me, this is the middle bit of the sandwich, the meat, is I often find myself repeating things, and when I have to do that I feel like I'm not adding very much value, and there are other things I could be doing. What would work better for me is, now the soft part of the sandwich is, can we come to an agreement in which I only provide updates or meaningful updates when there's something significant has changed and the group needs to know, and in the meantime I could just say, no update today. Something along those lines, which has a beginning, a middle and an end. This is where I am, this is where I want to be, this is how I suggest that we get there. And in this way, summary helps people ensure that there has been a meeting of minds. And the final sort of mantra is this, which is quality of life is quality of communication. And although these are some very, very basic rules, there are many, many more that can be used, mainly lifted from the art of salesmanship, and certainly lawyers do the same thing, make sure that there has been a meeting of minds. But in a course of this length, this is probably enough for now, and if you do think there's more that you'd like to delve into, please get in touch with me. So for the moment, that's where we're going to leave reasonable adjustments around these areas, and then we'll move on to look at some wider principles before we conclude the overall course.